in the previous problem, we were asking the user to enter numbers 5 times repeatedly, and then we were adding them, and then at the end, we showed the total of those 5 numbers. Now let's modify the previous program, and let's say the user will enter numbers as many times until the user enters a negative number. And your program should basically add all those entered numbers, which are positive. And then at the end, the program should display the total for all those positive numbers. So the user may enter, let's say, 3 positive numbers. Then your program will add them. In the next run, the user may enter, let's say, 10 positive numbers. Your program should add them. So there is no limit on how many numbers the user wants to enter. In the previous case, the user was entering only 5 numbers. And in this case, the user can enter as many as numbers as long as they are positive numbers. And then your program should add them. And finally, your program should display them, display the total sum. So here again, we need basically one variable which we can use for storing the number that the user is entering. So let's say that's an integer number. Then we need another number which can store the sum of all these entered numbers, positive numbers. So we will basically do that. And we will initialize it with 0, right? And then we have to keep track. So here we don't need to keep track, right? So here we will keep track through the value that the user is entering, right? So let's say initialize it with let's say initialize this num with 0, okay? And you will see that why I have done that here. So here we have to check that the number that user has entered is positive, right? So let's say what we are doing here, I will write this, while num is greater than 0 or greater than or equal to 0. So here you see that while num is greater than or equal to 0, so here in the first case, your num is 0, so this expression is true, right? Okay, so 0 is greater than or equal to 0, true, right? And here, what we are doing basically, we are asking, so first we can update here, total is equal to total plus num, okay? Right, so we are updating the total, and then we are asking the user to enter the num, and then here the user will enter the value for num. So here, let's say we initialized with basically num with 0. So first time num is 0, right? So first time num is 0. So then this will be basically true first time. And now the total is basically total is 0 because you add 0 with 0, then you get total 0. And then you are asking the user to enter the number. Let's say user enters 15 with this 2 statements, right? So 15 has been entered, right? And then you go here in the beginning of the loop, and then 15 is greater than or equal to 0, which is true. Then you update the total. So here you put basically total plus 15. So total was 0, 15 plus 0 gives you 15. And then you ask the user to enter the number again. So let's say user enters 6. And then your code will jump here. In the beginning of the loop, 6 is greater than or equal to 0, true. So your total will become now. So your total will be added with 6. So previously it was 15, 15 plus 6, 21. And let's say you ask user to enter the num, and this time let's say user enter 7. So again you will go here. 7 is greater than or equal to 0, which is true. Then this 7 will be added to total. So total was 21. Now it will become 28. And now let's say you ask the user to enter the num. Let's say this time user enters -1. So now you go again here in the while loop, beginning of while loop. So now num is -1. -1 is compared with 0 for greater than or equality, which is false. Right? When it is false, then your code will jump here, right? Okay. And I can display the total sum, right? So we can do that. So let's say we edit this line here. Okay. So now when the loop will terminate, then it will display the total, right? So let's say I run this program. So let me exclude the previous one. So here I will, let's say first time I will enter 15. Second time I will enter 6. Third time I will enter 7. And let's say fourth time I will enter -1. Now you see that this program will give you a total 28. Right. So here you see that I have added 3 numbers on this run, not 5 numbers. Next time I can run this program to add 5 numbers. I can write 15, 6, 7, 12, 30. And now I can write -1. So now I'm adding 5 numbers. So this program is more flexible than the previous one, where we were restricted to enter only 5 numbers. But this program, we are not restricted to any numbers, right? So we can give first time 5 numbers, second time 3 numbers, third time 10 numbers, right? So now this is our program that displays sum of 5 numbers here. Okay, so that's another way to write code here. So here, this num that you have, right? It's not updating by the program, rather user basically gives value for that num, and based on whether the num is positive, right? This loop is executed repeatedly, right? So if the num is positive, that is entered by the user is positive, then this set of statements will execute repeatedly. When the num is negative, which is entered by the user, then this expression will be false. Your code will jump here. Okay. All right.